So I like this because I saw this headline and just picture this. I'm scrolling through the interweb. I'm looking for stuff to cover. I go on Deadline. I'm drinking a cup of coffee. And I read Amazon MGM Studios says James Bond fans will be patient for next movie. I spit some of my coffee out because I'm chuckling to myself, knowing full well that James Bond fans don't really care about the next James Bond movie, based on how bad the last one was.
The last one, Blue Dog. It was terrible.
Yeah, it was real bad, real bad. I like the hubris of this, this sort of like just how it's all framed. Like, oh, James Bond fans will be patient. Yeah, no one cares anymore, mate.
Yeah,
like, no one's scrabbling for the next James Bond movie.
It's destroyed. Don't care.
Pretty much. So let's take a look. Let's see what's said, right? Although James Bond torch has yet to be passed, the franchise will have to die another day. Amazon MGM Studios global head Jennifer Salk, who is an idiot, by the way, recently gave an update on the franchise after Daniel Craig took his final bow as 007 in No Time to Die, as the UK's Eon Productions continues to maintain the majority of creative control. So he says the following, quote, "There are a lot of ideas about potential actors that have popped up that I thought are interesting. Well, thank God you're not the one deciding this. All right.
I don't know if Barbara's a good picker either, but
none of them are. None of them are, quite frankly. No. But Jennifer Salk would be the worst. She's awful. I think there are a lot of different ways we can go. We have a good and close relationship with Eon and Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson. We're not looking to disrupt the way those wonderful films are made. For us, we're taking their lead. Well, the last one was terrible. You got what's her bloody name? Fleabag on board, Phoebe Waller-Bridge on board. Yeah. You made sure that on set no one could be called a Bond girl. Being called a Bond girl was a no-no. For some bizarre reason. Like it was just like the whole thing was just weird, and it just culminated in a dog shit movie anyway. So
we can't sexualize women anymore, Mr. H.
Yes, we can.
But they can still dress like sluts, and it's okay.
They can sexualize them. Yeah, no, and they can go on the internet and be complete garden tools on fans only and stuff.
So. Lonely fans.
Lonely.
Salk added, the global audience will be patient. We don't want too much time between films, but we're not concerned at this point. So after Amazon and MGM previously closed their $8.5 billion merger, which is actually small change, to be fair. Like Disney bought 20th Century Fox for like 70-odd billion. In May, Salk said it was definitely uncharted waters, and she also touched on reports of a potential 007 series adaptation. When you're looking at iconic intellectual property like that, you look at what the entire long-term future might be. Of course, you look at every facet. And in 2022, Broccoli told Deadline that production on the next phase of the franchise was at least 2 years out, as they plan a reinvention of Bond, which in modern day speak means it's going to be shit.
Yeah. Cauliflower is reporting that it is going to be shit also. Just saying.
So there you go. There's the news. There's a little bit more here. It just says, look, nobody's in the running. We're working out where to go with him. This is 2 years ago she said this. We're talking that through. There's a script and we can't come up with one. There isn't a script, sorry, and we can't come up with one until we decide how we're going to approach the next film, because really it's a reinvention of Bond. We're reinventing who he is, and that takes time. I'd say that filming is at least 2 years away. I mean, look, I just quickly my 2 cents on that. You don't need to reinvent Bond. Like, there is a quintessential version of Bond in everyone's head. You stray from that. It's not James Bond. Like, it's just not James Bond. The quintessential version of each character is the character. It's the character to everyone. So you change Bond, you reinvent him. There is no Bond at all. And to say that fans will be patient, fans don't care anymore. People are done.
Bond's sort of like Superman. It's an easy copy and paste every time.
Yep.
That's what people are used to. That's what people want. I just hope they don't cast that fruity gay wad bloke off of Doctor Who. You know, as long as it's not him.
Oh God, yeah.
A really lovely compliment in the chat. Someone said I would make quite a good Q. Yeah, I'll take that. That's one of the nicest compliments I've ever received. I could do my Q impression real quick. Do pay attention, 007. What's that? I feel like I could make a good Q. Like I could do Q. It's supposed to be sort of light relief, isn't it? Q's always a bit of a bit of a weirdo loser. Light relief. But yeah, no, they ruined it, right? No, like last one. I can't remember if I even watched it or I let it pass me by or I watched a really long review by someone like the EFAP guys or something. I can't even remember if I've watched it, but I remember big chunks of it, but I don't really remember the film properly. And again, that speaks volumes, doesn't it? Like, yeah, I'm not interested now in seeing what they're going to do. And if it changes hands into a completely different studio or a completely different a completely different creative body that aren't going to ruin it. And as Nick said, yeah, there's the quintessential sort of canon James Bond. There's nothing to change. It's a cut and paste thing. So yeah, you're killing it or have already killed it. And yeah, so now I don't care. Like the next James Bond film, I'm going to make absolutely no effort to see it. None.
Yeah, I doubt many people will. To be honest, the last one didn't do that much. It didn't do that well financially either, for what they were expecting. I think it would have ended up losing money if I remember rightly, because there was such a load of palaver about it. No Time to Die. So No Time to Die budget. The last one was between $250 and $301 million, which is just outrageous. And it earned approximately $774 million.
It was, and that budget is not what it cost. That budget was the stated budget or the reported budget. Yeah. That was well before the delays, the reshoots, the COVID protocols, the other baloney sausage that kept getting in the way of finishing the film. And the fact
that bad just in the States as well. In the States, it only made $160 million, which, I mean, it sounds like a lot, but that's really bad for a stateside. That's really bad.
Yeah.
And Bond used to be big. I mean, every time a new Bond movie would come out, I mean, everybody was going to see it.
Yeah.
Now it's like nobody cares.
When I was a kid, it was a big thing.
Yeah.
Right, Nate. I think I'm a bit older, touch older than you, but it used to be important. People cared, really.
Yeah.
You know, who was going to be the next James Bond? I mean, when I was a kid, it was Timothy Dalton, was it? Yeah, and like the Pierce Brosnan stuff when I was a teenager, sort of thing. People cared. People would always talk about their favorite one for, you know.
We fight about it.
Legacy.
Yeah.
We fight about it. Yeah,
it was a big legacy.
I was such a huge Bond fan growing up because of my grandfather. I mean, I was introduced to the the Bonds from the 60s by my grandfather, watching them way too young, and I'm in my 50s now. That gives you an idea. I've been watching Bonds since, near the beginning of the films, and I've enjoyed them all. And up until Daniel Craig took over, and by the time we were through Casino Royale, I was like, I do not want Jason Bourne, James Bond.
Yeah.
We find something else to do with, get back to the character, please. They just couldn't. And Daniel Craig doesn't have it in him. I mean, have you seen the way he wears a dress? Come on now.
Yeah. What was that in? How have I seen screenshots of that? What is that? Jog my memory.
Well,
him in a dress somewhere.
He's been in a dress more than once. I mean, like I said, he was basically his own Bond girl. So there you go.
I don't what?
I've seen him in drag in something or other somehow. Yeah.
Jesus.
Just for the record, the correct answer is that Sean Connery is the best Bond.
I agree.
That is the correct answer. One of my very good friends insists it's Roger Moore, and I'm of the opinion that Roger Moore is one of the weakest. I'm a Sean Connery man myself.
Same.
But yeah. Anyway.
No, Connery was unmatched as Bond, unmatched. Absolutely brilliant. Brilliant. And Bond always had some of the best villains. I feel like the new Bond had dog shit villains. What is this? What is this?
That's
Culture.
Daniel
What is
Craig.
What is that? Honestly, oh, is that
That,
Daniel
that
Craig?
is Daniel Craig.
Ooh.
Wow.
I can see it in the face if I like cover up the hair and just look at the face. Ooh, gross.
Jesus. Wow. Okay. But
Looks a bit,
Bond
looks
used to
a
have
bit
such
like
great
the-
villains, and the new Bond villains were terrible. They were awful. Like the only good one was Mads Mikkelsen. And then, yeah, I don't remember any of the other villains. Do you remember any of the other villains? There was
I don't.
Blofeld.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
crap.
from from the Goldfinger, Man with the Golden Gun. Yeah, there's the original ones. Yeah, there's loads.
Tananga.
Jaws.
Jaws.
No, I was talking
Yeah.
about the new ones.
Oh,
Odd Job.
right.
Oh,
Oh, right.
oh.
Yeah, no, I can't think. Yeah, I don't know.
No.
What was the Mads Mikkelsen one with the eye bleeding?
Yeah, that's what I said. There was the Mads. I said Mads Mikkelsen, but then the rest were crap.
Bardem. Was he a baddie in one of them?
Yeah, he was.
Um,
He was like played up to be. I don't know, like gay or something like that. He was like a bad guy, and he had like half of his face all like out, and it was they're largely forgettable. The villains of the
the
latest.
guy
Bonds.
that was the Jew hunter in Inglourious Bastards. Was he?
Yeah,
one?
yeah.
Was he one?
Yeah,
Yeah, they're
he was
largely
Blofeld.
forgettable, though, aren't they? They're largely forgettable.
He was Blofeld, which was James Bond's brother in the new
yeah.
Bond.
Oh my god!
Just reminding you of the crap that they went to. Anyway, there you go. I don't think anyone cares about James Bond anymore. Anyone else care? Shall we move on from this?
Yeah, just another big part of my childhood.
I'm just
ruined.
bummed out. I have all of the Bond films, all of them except for the most recent Craig one because they destroyed the franchise. I refuse to watch any of the Craig stuff now. He's a mega douche. I hope he finds failure every time he turns around.
I like it. There we go.